Welcome to truckyoo podcast, guys. My name's Jose.
I am Sebastian. How's it going?
Good, brother. It's been a while.
It's been a while. What have you been up to? Well, we got a lot to talk about today. Today we're gonna let me just do a little intro here. We're gonna talk about old engine in a new truck and what does it mean to have an illegal truck, or is it a glider? All those questions are going to be answered, right? The reason we wanted to do this one is a couple of reasons. We had the last video we did is sometimes we look at a truck and you're like, well, why is this illegal, or why is this bad, right? So we wanted to expand on it a little bit and then actually talk about some scenarios and case studies that at least I know about. I know you know about those too. When somebody's mixing and matching different things and putting new engines in the truck, right? So we want to address that today. We're going to talk about scammers. We're going to talk about old engines in new trucks, and when does the truck is illegal and why should I care, right?
Correct.
We should talk about personal perspective and personal decision making around.
So you guys are a little bit more informed of what's going on.
Yeah, and maybe, get a little different perspective, our perspective on how things are going. That video is doing pretty good. I just want to make sure that whatever we're putting out, we're doing as much communication as possible. There's some things that we're going to touch base on. But how you been, man? We haven't been talking about for a long. Like why did we take a break?
Phew. It's been
2 months.
Is it?
Maybe.
Well, yeah, it has.
Right. I don't even know. Well, since the last video, it's been a few weeks, but we haven't done a podcast episode for a long time. We're going to get to it, but what's been happening? Why?
We've been really busy. We've been doing a lot of injector cups now. Clutches. They're starting to catch up on us now.
Yeah.
I-shifts. Actually, the last batch of trucks that you purchased, how many was it?
I don't know, 9.
Yeah, right. Pretty close to 10. Yeah,
something like that.
And they're all around with the 650, close to 700,000 mile range. They've been having transmission codes, and they all, I would say, within a week apart, right?
Yes.
2 weeks. Clutch after
that fleet
clutch after clutch.
They didn't do anything with those trucks, and we're doing that. A lot of EGR cooler cleanings.
EGR coolers, yeah.
And emissions in general. We're going into winter season, which is going to be hard on emissions, and maybe you can do. I don't know if people are interested. We have videos on why and what you should do before winter. I don't want to repeat myself over time. Maybe we could do a different take as far as our experience with DEF fluid and what we do to prevent some of the issues. That could be better, because I don't want to what should you do when you have when winter's coming. It's like, dude, there's enough videos about that. I've been traveling a little bit. I was set back a little bit with
been all over the world, right?
not the world. I had to go across the pond to take care of some business in Poland. But I'm happy to be back. I'm moving again, which is crazy.
Ready for the big move.
Yeah, we're hopefully we'll be all in before Christmas, but Thanksgiving is going to be at the old place, and we're moving back. So I'm excited about that. And yeah, we're gonna have a lot of new stuff coming out. Not to drag it out, but we're gonna have some how-tos, and we're gonna have some more interviews. And yeah, we just needed to take a break, regroup. The shop needed a little bit of revamping more on my end. Yeah, a little bit more attention. Overall in general, there's just been a lot of things going on, a lot of opportunities that we're trying to capture. What's been going on with you as far as family? Everything good?
Yeah, kids are fine. Everything's
yeah. Good. Then you've been focused, I guess. And we have a new tech. We have a new tech.
He's
entry level.
He's a new apprentice. He's eager to learn.
Yeah. He's doing pretty good.
He's doing really good.
Yeah. We have one more starting in a week too. So we're always hiring. So if you have, if you're advanced tech, medium, mid-level, high-level tech, or experience level, we're always hiring. So I'm always hiring. Awesome. All right, let's talk about old engine and new truck. So the way we want to frame it is according to the EPA and the Clear Air Act, which is something that what we're referring to and what the actual law is. So let's just make the record straight and maybe talk about it for a second, because we'll post a timeline. We'll link it to we'll post it in our owner-operator forum group, by the way. If you guys are watching, we have a Facebook group that's owner-operator forum, people that want to learn and be better in the owner-operator model, business trucking. And we'll have a graph. We talked about the graph for the emission timeline, so I'm just going to bring it up really quick. 2004. Did you see the graph that I showed you? It says DOC EGR OBD1 on 2004.
No, I did not.
Look at that, right? The 2004.
Oh yeah, 04, yeah, OBD1.
Where did they put DOCs in 2004? I don't know why. Then 2008 DOC EGR DPF OBD2, and then 2010 onward DOC EGR DPF SCR OBD2. We'll have that graph. We've talked about it multiple times. That's the graph. But the number one thing that we're trying to talk about is set the record straight with when we talk about illegal trucks, illegal builds, somebody that got scammed. There's very straightforward law that they implemented. It's the Clear Air Act 203, I think is right. Which one is that? Because you did some research on your own.
Yeah, 203. You're right.
Yeah. So for any person to manufacture or sell or offer to sell or install a part of component for a motor vehicle where as principal effect of the part or component is to bypass, defeat, or render inoperative any emission control device, and the person knows or should know that the part or component is being offered for sale or installed for such use or put to such use, which is interesting. It says the person knows or should know, right?
So they have to be aware of it.
Yeah. So even if you're not aware, but you should know that if you're buying a truck. Well, at least that's what it says right here. Following for anyone to remove or render inoperative an emission control component on a certified motor vehicle or engine prior to sale or delivery to ultimate purchaser, or for anyone to knowingly remove or render inoperative any emission control component on a certified motor vehicle or engine after sale and delivery to the ultimate purchaser. It is a crime to knowingly, falsely tamper with, render inaccurate, or fail to install any monitoring device or method required under CAA. Okay. Defeat device and tampering examples: alterations to fueling, timing strategy, DPF delete, EGR delete, SCR delete, alterations to OBD, software and hardware. It tells you right there that if the truck was manufactured, built, and there's actually there's a different law that which we should probably look it up. I have to find it. I haven't saved it for us to actually quote that specific law. It says that the emissions on the truck the truck year that was produced shouldn't be tampered with, right? So there's been a lot of questions around, well, can you put an old engine into a newer truck? So what's your answer?
Yes, you can. I mean, if you have the knowledge, you have tools, everything, the money to do it, you can. Is it illegal? It is.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah. It's not only, and we're not saying that you can't do it. We're just saying that according to what the EPA requires from manufacturers. And look, it's a government institution that's supposed to control emissions on heavy duty vehicles, light duty vehicles, trains, everything, right? So as they implemented that, even the big manufacturer Detroit paid a lot of
They did.
penalties, right? It was a lot of those regulations are just typical government BS that you have to deal with. So if you choose to buy a truck or build a truck like that, it's your decision. But just know that it's
your responsibility.
It's not illegal. Are you going to go to jail for it? I don't know. I mean, we're not going to say that.
Yeah.
Would we want to follow as, hey, what are the consequences possibly, or what are the headaches that might come with certain decisions? And I like in the specific case of that truck that we had, that 2016 that had the old block in it, right? Some people said. Very few people, but I always look at those comments and look at, okay, well, is there a valid point? Is there something that we can actually talk here about, have a normal conversation? A lot of this is trash talk, which I ignore, and people are hiding instead of, hey, like, this is where I work, this is what we do. There's one guy that talks a lot of trash. I'm like, well, let's talk about it. I'm open.
Come on the podcast.
Yeah. And maybe we'll learn something else. You get more business and it'll be better for everybody, right?
Yeah, it works both ways.
But just to say that you can go and take a 2018 truck, put a 12.7 Detroit in it, and call it legal because it has a rebuild title is not accurate.
Wait, but not only that, but he received a 2021 or a 2020
yeah, and then
title?
it's 2021. Yeah, it's just that's why. Like, look, like, yeah, can you? So I'm not even talking about him anymore, but hypothetically, right? Like, think about that logic. When you have to buy that 2017 truck. Let's say the engine blows up or something happens. We've had that for some of our owner ops. Their engine blew up, whatever reason. Even our engines didn't really blow up on the new motors, but we've had cases where owner ops had issues. At least 3 owner ops that drove for us that their engine blew up, and well, you have a 2017 Peterbilt. What are you going to do? Are you going to put 12.7 in it? Well, that's an option, right? But not only you have to do it right. With harnesses, with pretty much, you're building pretty much everything from scratch, right?
And on top of that, I'm pretty sure the guy still had the truck note. You have the truck note, and you still got to buy an engine, which is really hard to find. The harness, the labor, everything.
So let's talk about, let's say hypothetically the truck is what's done 16, 17 right now. It's going to be $70,000. And it's a Peterbilt, it's probably more.
Yeah,
depending on the mileage. Then you have to, so you have your 70 out the door. You still have a note. Then you're putting a 12.7 in it, which you still have to buy or either rebuild, which is going to be another 20 grand. You got to put it in here. You have to figure out. Not only you have to spend a lot of labor hours to actually figure out how to properly retrofit that 12.7 in there. And then you're $100,000 in the truck.
Yep. When you could have just bought a glider.
But maybe it makes sense for somebody. And I'm being very generous here. But, but you know what I mean? Like, it doesn't make sense. You could have bought a glider and not have issues and just put whatever engines you wanted in them. Yeah. And the gliders have to be gliders from the manufacturer. You can't just make a glider. Let's make it straight. You can buy a 2018 Coronado with a emissions engine and make it a glider. It has to be a glider from the company. From the factory. So it was very interesting to me how probably on our part we could have. The only problem I want to set straight is that we used that truck for a pre-purchase inspection, which seemed like we did the pre-purchase inspection on that truck, but we didn't. It was literally just bought and brought to us, and it was like, hey, I have a problem with it. Can you guys help me out? And then it was just sitting there for weeks. So we were like, let's use it for pre-purchase inspection video, which we talked about specifically components around the truck, not. Like, we didn't know about that yet, that it was actually that. And then we discovered, like, hey, is this something that we benefit, like somebody could benefit from learning and checking, right? As far as that video. So, yeah.
And there were a lot of red flags when it first came in.
It didn't drive.
Yeah, it had a transmission codes.
Yeah, but it had so many issues in codes that it just didn't drive. Then you have to start now trying to figure out which ones you have to start eliminating them.
Which one's causing what?
Yeah. And not only the transmission, but then somebody's like, "Go do an in-frame." No, you can't. Like, what are you going to do an in-frame for? You don't need an in-frame on that. That truck didn't need an in-frame. It needed to be I don't know, to be honest with you. But it is what it is, and I know that's it's not like people are gonna do stuff like that. And if it works for them, that's fine. You use that truck, right? I'm not saying it never works. If you have a 2017 and you have or newer truck and your engine blew up and you're thinking about swapping in, do you have confidence in the shop that can pull it off? Are they going to warranty it for you? Are they going to look at it when they're going to start having issues down the road? You know.
Yeah, because you never know what goes on with those wiring issues. Harnesses, are they building it or is it like a pre-made harness?
Yeah.
Something starts corroding, you're going to start having headaches down the road. Then the guy doesn't want to look at it because it was a headache for him to put it together. Then you're screwed.
Yeah. Downtime, labor hours, and it's like nobody's going to do that for cheap. It's a pretty big undertaking to retrofit any engine into anything, or just not even that, but just, you know, even if you're building a glider, right? That's why they're expensive, and that while the market is hot for gliders right now, and for any trucks.
Crazy right now for the gliders. Yeah. I checked.
Really?
Yeah.
I haven't looked at gliders.
I think I saw one. It was like
gotta bring Polly in here.
A 389. I think it was going for like 150, bro. Wow. And it had like mileage. It was like it had like 700 something.
Yeah. It's crazy. The prices are crazy, period. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're not crazy. Maybe I'm too late to the game or something. It's hard when I bought them for pre-peak for the prices that I did, and now I have to pay triple. You know what I mean?
It doesn't make any sense.
I mean, at least to me, it doesn't right now. But maybe that's not a good decision. But yeah, right. Is this something that it's got to be your personal decision. Are you willing to live with a truck that's been hodgepodged and has random parts? That specific truck that we were talking about didn't have an operating SCR on it. It was not hooked up. It was pretty much deleted. It was just hanging there. And there was just so many issues with that truck. Like you would have to have gone through the entire wiring to see what was messed up, what needed to be upgraded. So putting more money into it, I don't know if you have it.
Is it worth it?
I mean, if you have it, then go ahead. But no, I would rather buy something.
Buy a 98, a classic.
Or just buy a new 2018 and just pay for it $70,000 or $80 and
stay on top of the maintenance.
Yeah. You know, but so moving on, I think it's pretty clear. We if you have any, just shoot us questions in the comments. We always read them. We have constructive feedback and constructive conversation. Not some bullshit comments. There's a lot of trash talk mechanics, which I know your life is hard, but don't take it out on it's like, well, some of the comments in, it's like I don't pay attention to the bullshit comments at all, but it's like you really think we're sneaky little plan we're doing a video just to like do, I don't know, screw people over or something? It's like, no. Are you kidding me? Like we're sharing all the stuff that we're learning to help people out, and somebody's like coming up with this.
Especially with that whole engine serial number out there on the on YouTube, I don't think there's anybody that has shared that information on what to look out for. And I mean, we're not being sneaky at all. We're trying to help people out.
Yeah, and exactly right. It's like the other one was the YouTube celebrities. That's like the number one thing I want. I want to be a YouTube celebrity. What about you?
I've been waiting for this day, bro.
Right? So excited to be a YouTube celebrity. I think they have like YouTube awards or something. But it's just, it is what it is. I do have some questions that I wanted to bring up. And is there anything are we forgetting here? Do you have any notes that you put down or fines examples?
Yeah, I came across some fine examples. So on the smallest fine, it could be from $2,500 a day, $2,500 flat, to $45K a day for the fees.
Yeah, wow.
And the fees, I guess they are calculated by the miles you covered, states, all that, etc. So that adds on to the fee. Some
big manufacturers got like 20 million. Detroit got at some point.
I think it was like 14 million, something like that. But it was a big hit. Yeah, $14 million.
$14 million for Detroit.
Yeah.
It doesn't say what, but some of it
says
just
a civil penalty, but it doesn't say exactly.
What else sticks out to you?
Volkswagen, $108 million in Illinois.
Just in Illinois. So that was a big Volkswagen gate, but that's not heavy duty. That was their cars. But I know, I mean, Cat got out of the game because of it,
Yeah,
because of emissions
definitely.
too. Yeah. All right, I think that explains this. If you guys have any more questions, just go to our, if you can go to our own operator forum Facebook group, we're there and we can chat, and no scam like scams scammers and promoting stuff. We're just sharing information to learn and be better. All right, Eugene Josano SCR code: spent too much money for wrong diagnostics and fixed the good parts by Volvo dealer. Found out it was just a wiring problem.
Yes.
Who's going to return my money for wrong diagnostic labor parts? That's a good question.
And that's also like one of the most common things that we do. You've asked plenty of times when we're working in the shop, hey, did you guys check the harness? Because that's most of the times that's what that fails, especially if it's a harness running in the frame rails, exposed to salt, corrosion, it's rubbing against something.
Yeah, it's just the way my mind thinks. I always, since everything is always based on electric issues, some kind of like. Today in the morning I came in, Tom's diagnosing a truck, and I'm like, well, the first thing I would do is to look at the entire harness, even though it's a newer truck. Like, and we opened the batteries, it was fine. It was clean not too long ago, right? But that was the first thing I would that's how I think. That's why I always ask. But it's unfortunately that's just part of the business, right? You even dropping it at a Volvo dealer, they have techs just like we do. Just they hire the same type of people, right?
Yeah.
They're gonna make mistakes, and there are great mechanics and then there are not so great mechanics, and that's the risk you're taking, right? They're gonna throw parts at it, and usually dealer just like, hey, where smaller shops might be trying to target specifically, try to fine tune or what I'm looking for, like arrive at the core issue. Versus, it was new harness, new transmission, right? Thinking like a big fleet is fixing the truck. You know what I mean? It's like, no, like you try to diagnose a bit, but unfortunately, it's the relationship that you either have or don't have with Volvo or any shop, right? Because if you're on the road, it's hard to have a relationship with anybody. You just have to go to fix something, and then now you're screwed because they're just throwing parts at it.
Yeah,
right? And I've seen that multiple times. So, yeah. It's not like they're going to cut you a check, hey, we were wrong. You know what I mean? Foray, Michael, hi, please help. Can I bet kingpin cause hard steering? The steering is hard when turning to the left.
Yep, I can.
Yeah.
Especially, from my experience, I've seen it when you have a load. Especially on a Hendrickson X, so I've seen it the most. But that would be more from no grease going into the kingpins, or... We've had a couple of those, remember? Yeah.
So the answer is yes. I think you should look at them, look at the tire wear too, and have an inspect the kingpins, springs.
See, well, that
shocks.
one it wouldn't be a tire wear because the kingpin wouldn't have any play. It's too tight.
Oh yeah. Okay,
and that's
right.
why the steering's a lot harder.
Yeah.
It does happen. So it couldn't cause that.
Yeah, interesting. Okay. Another one, Carlos Contreras. Hello, I have a question. I have a Volvo D13 2011 automatic I-shift. I have problems. Sometimes it is working well and suddenly it goes to neutral and does not want to take changes. I have been told that it does not transmission. It may need some programming in the model of control. In the module, it's written a little harder, but please help. Thanks for your videos. And okay, so did you understand what I said? What I read?
So he's having issues. So sometimes he will be driving and will go into
neutral. I don't know if it says driving, and it goes to neutral and does not want to take changes. I've been told that it does not. It's not transmission.
I would possibly take a look at the shifter, the gear lever inside the.
Mm-hmm. If it's an I-shift, especially, there's a when you take it apart, it has the plastic mechanism inside gets messed up sometimes, and it could slide back into neutral. So all you have to do is just take it apart. Just be careful because there's it. I did that once, and then I had to buy a new selector. But that's how I know this. They're not expensive either. You can just get that shift selector. But check it out, and if it's especially 2011, it's worn out.
Yeah, it's got to be worn out. Yeah.
So start with that. If you have manual mode, see if that holds. If you push the manual mode, the button, it should hold it in that gear. If it still does the same thing,
Or even check the harness under the seat. That's another common spot.
that's yes,
they get
especially.
pinched or they
Yeah,
start rubbing.
yeah. Just follow that harness going out into the floor. Somebody commented on that video that we did that it was a glider kit. So just clarification, no, it wasn't. Just because swapping an engine doesn't mean that it's a glider kit. It has to be from manufacturer. And the last question is to you, Jose. That's from William Herrera. Where did you learn so much so quick? How old are you? 20? Keep up the good work.
Pretty close, eh?
Yeah,
Actually 26, and you just, if you enjoy what you're doing, you just keep pushing and love the learning process. Just keep pushing. That's mainly what I'm doing, and you learn something new every day.
Yeah.
New scenarios.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, if you love something, you're just gonna keep. We talk about YouTube all the time, what we watch and what we learn, and that's just because we love what we do. So, anything else you want to add? I think we're committing to more footage coming out and how-tos. We had requests for how-to, so that's gonna come, and some new stuff we're working on. There's a lot of things. We're very slammed, so our podcast is gonna. I really want to do it continuously every week with guests.
Get back on schedule.
But we're gonna probably share you and me hosting back and forth because we're just so busy with everything, and I love doing this. So, right?
Yeah, sounds good.
Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, share, join our owner operator forum, and